Hi everyone.
Hi.
Today we are making ANZAC biscuits. Now, for anyone who's not Australian or from New Zealand, ANZAC biscuits are like kind of hard to explain, but they're very traditional, celebrated, made on ANZAC Day, which is April 25.
My goodness. And ANZAC is like Australian New Zealand Army
Corps.
And I guess the original recipe originated, I think, from making something with the Russians during the war. I'm sure you can Google it and find it exactly. This is our take on it. Obviously a little bit different than the original, because normally it's like golden syrup, oats, flour, sugar. We don't have any of that. But we have come up with a pretty good ANZAC biscuit substitute. Now, it's not a crunchy ANZAC biscuit, so if you're looking for a crunchy one, this might not be your recipe.
It's very difficult to get crunch with almond flour, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we have our ingredients here, and what we're using instead of the golden syrup that is traditionally in ANZAC biscuits is this new Lakanto golden malt flavored syrup. So it's kind of similar to rice malt syrup, would you say? And it even smells a little bit maple syrupy, do you reckon? It has definitely.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we're using that in place of our golden syrup. And then we're going to use some baking soda, a little bit of salt, and then we've got some almond flour, coconut flour, and coconut flakes. So the coconut flakes is to kind of substitute the rolled oats.
It gives the oats kind of texture when you crunch into it, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have some butter, and we're going to brown the butter, which is also going to give us like a caramelly type flavour. So that is the ingredients. These are honestly pretty easy to make. The hardest part is probably browning the butter, which isn't hard at all. So we're going to brown the butter, and then we're going to make kind of the base of the liquid with these two, add in the dry ingredients, and then roll it into balls and bake in the oven. So what we want to do to make our brown butter first is just pop the butter into a small saucepan, and I've just got it on like a medium heat, and we're just going to melt it down, and then it will kind of start to bubble away and go all foamy. And then we'll just let it kind of keep cooking until it starts to kind of brown on the bottom, and that will give us a really nice nutty caramel flavour. So it's been bubbling away for a few minutes now, and you can see like it's starting to get kind of foamy on the top, but it's still yellow. So we're looking for it to be brown. So after the foam kind of dies away, I think it will be brown. Okay, so you can see the colour of the butter has really changed now, because those milk solids have kind of settled on the bottom and cooked. Now you want to be careful here, because you don't want to take it too far, because it can burn. But you'll notice now there's like a really nice caramelly smell. It's really amazing how it almost smells sweet. So what we're going to do is just take it off the heat, and we're going to add in our Lakanto syrup. I think it's best to do this off the heat, just because that butter's really hot. We don't want to bubble up. So now we're going to pop this back on the heat and just bring it back up to a little simmer.
Oh wow, the smell.
Smell good, Dan. Okay, so you can see it's kind of bubbling away there, and it's kind of come a bit together. So now this is the fun part. We put in our bicarb soda, and it kind of all bubbles up. Almost like you're making honeycomb. Okay, so now we're going to take this off the heat and finish off the cookies. Now this is probably like just a lazy way of doing it, but I just do it all in this one pot. I don't even bother popping it into a bowl. So I'm just going to pop in a little bit of salt, and then I've got our coconut flour, almond flour, and coconut flakes here, and I'm just going to pop probably half of it in, give it a stir.
I'm happy for you to use that same pot because that means less washing up for me.
And then I'm going to pop the rest of the ingredients in. And that will be our cookie or biscuit dough done. So really the most time consuming part is just making the brown butter, which you don't have to do, but highly recommend because it
adds a flavour for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is that the Lakanto golden malt syrup has been spotted in Woolworths in the last week, and it is going to be available in Woolworths where you find all the other Lakanto products with the sweeteners.
I think that will be with the syrup.
Oh, really? With the maple syrup?
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
We haven't seen it in the wild yet. We got this delivered from Lakanto, but okay, Erica thinks maple syrup. So look in both places if you can't find it.
Okay, so you can see we now have a good cookie dough that we can roll into balls. I forgot to mention before, we do have the oven on as well at 160 degrees. So I just do probably just like a bit of a heaped tablespoon size ball. You get about 16 biscuits out of it, and I usually just press them down with a fork. They don't spread at all, so you don't need to leave too much room, but you want to have enough room so that the air will circulate around them in the oven, I guess.
Did your mum make Anzac biscuits?
I don't think so. Your mum makes really good ones. I love Dan's.
My mum is not a big cook or baker, but Anzac biscuits is one of the things that she does every year and nails it, in my opinion. So hopefully 100%. My mum's watching, because I know I give her a bit of grief in some of these recipe videos, but she nails a good Anzac biscuit, that's for sure. She does.
I love your mum's Anzac biscuits, and she knows that I do as well. Okay, so I've just got a fork, and it does help if you just put a little bit of oil on the little prongs so that it doesn't stick. And then I just like to do this. Gives them like a nice
look.
Homemade, rustic is what we're going for. Obviously you could just press them out if you wanted more perfect ones.
So my question is, when do I get to eat the cookies? The smell in here, it smells so good.
Because we've like heated that up, it's almost like a cookie. Okay, so we're going to pop them in the oven. So we bake them for about 12 minutes, and you'll see they come out golden brown. Then you're going to want to let them cool down before you eat them. Sorry, Dan.
It smells good. It smells so good.
So these have been out of the oven. We let them cool on the tray for a while, and then we pop them onto the kind of baking rack to cool down completely. I guess, you know, as we said before, they're not traditionally kind of crunchy like an Anzac biscuit.
But they're
kind of soft and crumbly, which I don't mind, to be honest. But that I gave one to my mum to try. She's like, it tastes like an Anzac biscuit, but it's not crunchy.
The coconut flakes really add that texture that I'm used to in an Anzac biscuit, even though you're not getting that crunch. And then the brown butter.
Yeah, the brown butter kind of caramel. I guess even if you don't think of it as an Anzac biscuit, it's just like a really yummy cookie or biscuit.
It's really, really, really delicious.
So you can see how quick and easy these cookies came together, and you can grab some of that Lakanto golden malt syrup from Woolies and get baking on Anzac Day this year for your family.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make this recipe, it's totally worth it. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and thank you so much for watching.
Bye.